Hello guys, welcome back to another For Honor video. So this one's going to be a little bit different. This one's going to be talking about Juren because first off, I really enjoy this hero. I think he's fun. He's got a lot in his kit. Like, I mean a lot, like literally just about everything you could ask for. Undodgeables, hyper armor, unblockables, dodge attacks, you know, mix-ups. He's got everything. It's strong. It's really strong. And me being a Lawbringer main who's got quite a bit as is, especially now, I think Juren is just a really good hero. However, at the moment, he has a couple of things that are just too good, in my opinion. And I'm sure a lot of you guys would agree. And I'm just going to go over a couple of these things that I personally would like to see changed because I just think he's a little too safe at the moment on the defensive end and also very strong on the offensive end. So y'all let me know y'all's thoughts in the video. I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of stuff I've missed that are frustrating to deal with, and you guys will fill that in for me in the comments. But before we get into this, today, GamerSupps is having a sale with my creator code specifically. You get 20% off instead of 10% off. It's a good time to do it, good discount, helps me out significantly, and you guys get an awesome product. So if you use my link down in the description, you will get 20% off using my link or my code Jonda at checkout. So if y'all want to support me, it's a good place to do it. Get something awesome. Get Blowhole Blast for your flavor or the Gamer Fart one. Do it. They're both really good. Really, you can't go wrong. There's also a new hydration line. I freaking loved it. Anyways, back to the video. So first thing I want to address is Juren's GB vulnerability on his dodge forward bash. It is basically nothing. Like, I don't know if I've ever successfully guard broke a Juren on the dodge forward bash. It's right here. I got the bot set to guard break. I can counter it literally every time. It's not a problem. Now, the kick one, that one's different, and it's GB vulnerable. And that's great. I think it should be. But right now, you can early dodge this. And this isn't even early dodging, really. This is just dodging on the earlier side, but not like, it's not late. It's just average timing. And I could counter GB it literally every time. And I think this is a problem for a dodge forward bash. Like, I understand they want bashes punished by dodge attack, but I feel like most bashes, if you early dodge them, you can get a guard break. I don't think this one should be an exception. They didn't make it all or nothing on that. That's my opinion. And it's dumb. Now, his chain bash is the same way. So if I do like a light into this, you can't GB it. I think that one's fine. The dodge attack one, it's like a mix up. You only get 16 damage on it if you hit it, and if you get dodged, they dodge attack it, it's a free punish. But the forward dodge bash, I just think should be changed to match most other forward dodge bashes in the game with the early dodge specifically. Not any dodge, but early dodge. So that's the first thing I want changed. The second frustration I have with Juren is going to be his two dodge attacks, being this one and this one. And the reason being, it is so hard to distinguish between the two, because this one is relatively quick. So by the time you realize it's, it'd be an unblockable, it's kind of too late to react and choose to parry this one. So what I would like to see, and I don't know if it's going to be possible because it might be funky animation-wise, I would like it to actually alternate directions for the unblockable one. That way, when you do dodge attack and you see it coming this way, you can parry it. Meanwhile, if you see it the other way, it'll look like this one, obviously, but moving right in this case. If you see it going the other way, the unblockable's coming, and you can choose, what are the options that you can do there. Because right now, it's like, I don't want to say it's an option select because it's not an option select, but like if you see the dodge indicator, most of the time you can't tell which is which. There's just not a whole lot of time to react to it, and it is very difficult. To my knowledge, there's not another dodge attack in the game where you have to react to which dodge attack, and it's insanely punishing. The closest one I can think of is maybe Gladiator, but even with that, you can like kind of dodge both options because you can't feint them. With this one, he can feint the unblockable. So if you like chose to dodge, he could GB you, and then it's like another mix-up at that point, because you could have dodge attacked, I guess. But I just think it's healthy. I think it should alternate to the other side, kind of like Tiandi has. And then, if you see the quick one coming this way, you can parry it if you caught it right, if you guessed it right. And then if you went like this, it's like, oh, you may not have enough time to guard break it still, but you at least have enough time to like not go for the GB late, bounce off, and then, eat dookie. So, because that's 22 damage if that hits, if I'm not mistaken, which is pretty decent. And it's already a really good team fight tool. If you're like playing a team fight, you just kind of dodge and do that, and instant unblockable pressure, and you can target swap it and whatnot. And then, if it hits, you can just go into this, and you're kind of safe from follow-up peel options. So, like, I would like to see it swapped. The other option I guess they could have is I don't know, making the dodge attack take longer, but I don't like that. I would rather just be swapped. And I know there might be some indicator issues. I'm assuming they would have to like hide the beginning of the indicator if you know, they did the hold version. But I don't know, that's just my 2 cents on this. This is my biggest frustration by far with this character, so I would like to see a change to it in one way or another to make it more more obvious if they did a normal dodge attack or an unblockable. Because I'm tired of going for the parry on the normal dodge attack and then I try it and then, you know, I eat the unblockable. It freaking sucks. My third change I would like to see is a change to his dodge forward unblockable right here, because it's kind of similar to Pirates, except for, you know, obviously you don't have hyper armor on it. However, it is 22 damage, it's feintable, it's a pretty gross little pressure tool, and to my knowledge it does not have very high GB vulnerability. Let me double check this real quick to make sure I'm not lying to you guys. But if I set her on constant guard breaking, so it's going to look like this. Well, she's just going to keep spamming it, so I can just go dodge forward heavy and just go right through it. I don't like that. I think this should match the dodge attack GB vulnerability. Having a dodge forward, unblockable, feintable, 22 damage unblockable, I just think is gross. I think if you're going to like stuff this, at least do like a dodge forward heavy like normal, or go for like the guard, the zone or something. You already have those options for like a GB stuff. So I don't think he needs the high vulnerability on that. Or the low GB vulnerability. It's just really strong as is, and I don't think it's needed for him to be good. I think he's gonna be good regardless. The next change I would like is to his sprint unblockable. This one. Because it's pretty dang quick, guys. It's quick. It does 20 damage. And if you're jumping somebody in a team fight, they're not going to react to this in most cases. They're just going to eat it, because this is like, I don't know what the actual timing is, but it's relatively quick. Does 20. It also kills like a ton of minions in minion wave. I think slowing it down by a little bit would be nice. It doesn't have to be like Jormungandr hammer event slow, where he like freezes in midair for a minute and then comes down and crashes. But it needs to be a little bit slower, maybe even something like this speed or slightly slower. But it's a sprint heavy, and its main purpose is used for clearing the minion wave, and I just don't think it's necessary, especially since he can chain off of it. Well, actually, strike that, he can't chain off of it, but he does get frame advantage because it's a heavy finisher and he can just do that stuff. So yeah, I think that needs a big slowdown. Maybe even a damage change, because it is 20 damage unblockable. It's pretty quick. But if it's slowed down, it might not need the damage change. But that's a big complaint for me. I rarely see people jump me with it, but man, I jump people all the time, and they always eat it. So I think that needs a change. Next up, I have his zone attack, the trading option. I think this one, they did lower or they increased the stamina cost on it, so now it uses like a third of your stamina, which is good. I still think it should do a little bit less damage, because right now it does the same damage as an opener heavy. And it doesn't have a whole lot of GB vulnerability either. It's nothing crazy. I don't think it's excessively good, but like, it's nothing crazy. But it does 24 damage. It's pretty much instant hyper armor. It's unblockable. So unless your opponent has a dodge cancel after they hit into it, they're gonna eat that. I think you should do like a little bit less. I think maybe like 20. It's still gonna be good, because if the opponent, they feint to guard break or whatever, they're still gonna eat it, you know? Still gonna eat it, and you're gonna get 20 damage. And it is a zone attack, so it's going to hit a lot of enemies, you know? That's my 2 cents. I don't want a huge nerf to it. Maybe not even 20, maybe 22. Just something less, because I feel like if you have like a 27 damage finisher or whatever, and you having to feint to dodge to properly punish it, and having to do that all over again each time, it's just, it slows down the fight. And I want it to be like, if you do trade with it, it's like you just didn't lose as much health if you're playing as Juren. So like, let's say if I'm going against, what's a good example here? Let me change my opponent to, let's say, well, BP is probably not a good example here. Let's say Conqueror. Okay, let's say I got Conqueror here. Well, actually, no, he's probably not a good example, because his chain heavies only do 22 damage. Let's say we go against, I don't know, let's say Warlord. Let's go with Warlord. And I make him do light into heavy. Hopefully he actually hits me. And I just go, bonk. Well, now I only lost the 5 damage trade right there. And then he's actually, you know, kind of at a disadvantage after that, because he's not right in my face anymore. He doesn't have like giant frame advantage. And I only lost 5 health as a result. And the only way he could really punish that is by dodging and guard breaking. So I think, you know, it could still be a good trading tool, but since they also have the option to just feint and punish it, I don't know. Y'all let me know y'all's thoughts on this. It might be controversial, but I just think it should do a little less damage just because of how many ways it wins. And the only way you really lose right now is if you feint to neutral, dodge it, and guard break it. Because if they parry it, you know, they only get like 12 damage or a special parry punish or whatever. So y'all let me know y'all's thoughts on this. I just think a tiny little damage nerf would make it less spammable. Still usable, but not as spammable right now. The last thing I think that needs to be changed is the damage on his shove. Right now it does 5 damage. I think that is completely unnecessary. You're already getting a shove into the wall or even the environment and getting a kill. Not to mention, like, the opponent's probably not even going to be able to distinguish half the time if it's a normal bash or a shove, so you're only going to get punished by dodge attack most of the time. But right now, it already gives you a free heavy into another mix-up, so you might even be able to do it again. And just keep going with it, or, you know, eventually they'll fall for it, and, you know, eat that. So, like, it's already really good in utility. I don't think it needs 5 damage. If you're going to give it any damage, give it, like, 1 or something. You know, make it, like a, you know, the feintable zones that some people have that do 1 damage. But I don't think it needs damage. I just think it already has good enough utility. It's a good tool. And, yeah, I don't think it needs that. I think an extra heavy is already good enough, you know? But, yeah, that's my opinion there, Ubisoft, or anybody else. Y'all let me know y'all's thoughts on that one. But yeah, I think most people can agree. It doesn't need damage. It's as good as is. Or it'll be good without the damage. One last moveset thing I would like to see change with Juren is, and this may not be possible due to the wall splat, like hit stun rules, but right now if you throw somebody to the wall and you do your hold heavy, unless you're like point blank on the wall right there where it kind of resets them, if they have like any distance to the wall and they're still like perfectly in the, you know, the hit stun from the wall, it does like no damage. You'll see here, watch if I throw him, well, let me turn him off dodge here. So if I shove him into the wall and I do this, you're gonna see in the bottom right there, it does 24 and then 1 instead of 24 and 3. So really at this point, if you get a wall splat, unless again, you're like point blank on the wall, and even then it may be blockable at that point. Let me see if I put him on block and I try to do the charged heavy by the wall. Okay, and so it's good at point blank, but at that little bit of range, if you do the charged heavy, it reduces the damage, basically just making it completely useless except for the 1 damage difference, because it's just not worth it. It'll end your chain and then you're back to neutral, which is just crap. So I hope that's fixable, you know, with the weird pin property. I'm hoping that might be a way to like reset the hit stun or something, but that may like ruin ganks or something, you know, so I don't know, but I'm just not a fan of that. If that could be changed, that would be nice. For Juren's feats, I really don't have too many complaints personally. Ever since they changed the last man standing to give you defense first, I feel like he hasn't been as big an issue with like how much damage he does, because this was kind of crazy. I felt like every time he fought a Juren, he was hitting every heavy for like 30 damage plus because he was just missing, you know, 1 teammate. So I'm glad that was changed. I don't know if it needs further changes to like the numbers or anything, but so far it's felt pretty decent. So I really, at this time, I do not have any complaints on this. And guys, that's it for today's video. I hope y'all enjoyed. Let me know y'all's thoughts, and if there's any other changes you guys would like to see on Juren, let me know. I'm sure Ubisoft keeps track of these things. If they check Reddit and whatnot, I'm sure they check YouTube. So if y'all have any thoughts on what changes y'all would like to see for Juren, use my comment section as kind of like a forum to put it in. This would be cool. And I hope this video blows up a little bit. That way, you know, more people see it. You know, people from Ubisoft might see it and make some changes that they think are great, not bad, you know, what's doable and whatnot. So guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. Again, go check out GamerSupps, use my link in the description, or use code Jonda at checkout, 20% off. That's huge. Do it. It's a good time to do it. And yeah, it helps me out. So guys, have a great day, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye. Dude.